Hi, my name is Beth and I am a programming assistant for the St. Johns County Public Library System, and I am here today to present In the Bubble with Beth, juices, smoothies, and gummies. So welcome. Juices and smoothies are a great way to incorporate more plants into your diet, but they bring different things to the table. Juices will give you a very quick boost of energy, and it's a great way to eat a large number of vegetables in your diet, but please keep in mind that when you juice, you remove all of the fiber from the plant. So in order to make sure that you're getting enough fiber, you want to incorporate smoothies as well. Smoothies will give you that whole fruit and vegetable experience. Gummies are another way to incorporate more plants into your diet. Have a little snack along with a little bit of collagen, which is great for your gut health, for your hair, for your skin, for your fingernails, and for your bones. So let me just make a few book recommendations. If you're interested in the topic of juices, smoothies, and gummies, you might want to check out a few of these titles, like Best Green Drinks Ever, which has a ton of recipes of smoothies and juices. They're obviously all incorporate green. They're not always solely green drinks, but they definitely, each recipe incorporates greens. There's also the Nutrient Dense Kitchen Cookbook, which is where I found recipes for the gummies. And also Eat for Beauty, which I love this book. It's one of those DK books, and it breaks down all the different nutrients that you find in different fruits and vegetables and protein sources. It tells you which ones you might want to eat if you're trying to target certain problem areas, I guess. And it also has recipes. But the St. Johns County Public Library System literally has hundreds and hundreds of cookbooks. So just ask a librarian if you need some help. So just a quick word about the different kinds of juicers. There are two basic kinds. Centrifugal juicers are typically less expensive. They're a very good beginner juicer. They are easy to use, easy to clean, but part of their mechanism for juicing involves heating up the juice, which kills some of the enzymes. So then there's also cold press juicers, which is the kind that I have. Mine is an Omega juicer, and this juicer, it's cold pressed, so all of the nutrients of the juice are preserved. It is a slightly more expensive machine, so really you just kind of have to do your research, weigh the pros and cons of how much juice you're going to be using, what kind of machine is best for you. So this juice that we're going to be making is a beet juice, and I've cut 2 beets, 2 carrots, about 1.5 inches of ginger. I've peeled and cut a lemon, and I've got about 3 or 4 kale leaves here. Just a note that I'm using organic produce, so I just cut up the beet into pieces that'll fit in my juicer, and the same with the carrots. I didn't actually peel them, I just cut them up. But if you were using, I don't know what the word for it is, traditional produce, then you would want to peel that also. You can put whole leaves, kale leaves or beet leaves or whatever kind of leaves you want to put in your juice. I have taken them off the stem, but you can put whole leaves into your juicer. I just removed the stems from kale because I personally think that it's bitter. But alright, so and what we're going to be doing is we're going to rotate between using harder vegetables and fruits between soft. So this recipe, the kale and the lemon would be our soft items. So you kind of just want to mix, do a little bit of beets, do a little bit of lemon, do a little bit of kale, do a little bit of carrots. You don't want to get stuck doing one thing. because sometimes when it's soft, it starts to get kind of mushy, and then you have to just do more. It's more work. So basically, just keep rotating, and it'll go nice and easy. Okay, so how this works is I'm gonna be putting my different items through the chute here. It's gonna go down. It'll get mixed up in here. The juice comes here into this little bin, and then all the pulp will come, it'll be separated into this other bin. And you can use this, you can just throw it in your compost if you want, but you can also, put it in a bag and throw it in your freezer and use it the next time you're making vegetable stock, or you could put it in like zucchini bread or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. It's a little loud. And start putting in some items. Throw in a couple carrots. I've got this little tamper that I can push it down. And you can see there's the juice coming out and pulp's coming out the other side. Throw in a beet. And like I said, I want to also make sure that I get some soft items in there. So, there it goes. And I'll just keep doing that. I'm gonna throw in some kale, push it down with the tamper. Throw in a little bit of ginger. Throw in a carrot. Keep pushing it. Throw in lemon, a couple of beet pieces here. Alright, so you're getting the idea. I'm going to keep juicing. I'm going to press pause and keep juicing because it takes a couple of minutes. Okay, we've juiced all of our different items. You can see I've got a nice mixture of pulp here, and I'm going to take the container and just pour it in my glass. It's a beautiful red color, and let's see. Oh, that's really good. It's definitely, you can taste the lemon and definitely taste the ginger. If you don't like spicy, you might want to use a little bit less ginger, but I think it tastes delicious. So let me clean up and we'll make a green juice. Alright, let's make some green juice. So this go around, I have cut up half of a cucumber, and I just cut it into slices that'll fit into my juicer. One apple. If your apple, if it's a big apple, use just a half apple, but my apple was kind of small. I've got half of a lemon that I peeled, and sliced up into little pieces that'll fit inside my juicer. I've got 2 stalks of celery, a handful of salad greens. I've got 2 kale leaves that I took off the stems, and a few sprigs of parsley. So you know the process. I've cleaned my juicer. I'm going to go ahead and juice these, alternating. Now there's kind of a lot of softer ones in this one, so I might have to actually use my tamper a bit more than the last juice, but I'll press pause and we'll come back in a second. Alright, so we've got our green juice, and as much as I want to drink it right now, we're going to set this aside for our gummy recipe. So make sure that I've got a cup. I might actually have a little bit left over. I do. That's all I need for my recipe, so now I can drink the rest of that, which looks kind of funky when I'm filming it over a brown countertop, but it's delicious. When I just drank the beet juice, I got a nice buzz, and my lips are all pink. Okay, well let's move on to smoothies. I think I'm going to start with a green smoothie that I make all of the time. It's very easy to make. You're going to need a blender, doesn't matter what kind, some coconut water. There's all kinds of different brands out there. Just look for one that says 100% coconut water, because every now and then you'll find a couple brands will add some weird things to it that don't need to be in there. I'm going to use some frozen pineapple and also a frozen banana and some organic salad greens. Now, honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of greens you use. Most of the time I use spinach or kale, and sometimes they're fresh, sometimes they're frozen. It doesn't matter. I have this big thing of salad greens and I need to use it up kind of quickly, so I'm going to use that today. I'm also going to throw in some collagen, which this brand is Great Lakes. You can get that from health food stores or online. It's grass-fed, but there's other brands out there. Vital Proteins is one. I've seen that for sale in Target. Collagen is great for your joints, for your gut lining, and for your hair, skin, bones, and teeth, and supposedly it helps you sleep better. I'm also going to put some spirulina in there. Spirulina is a great energy booster. It's a microalgae that has a lot of nutrients, omega-3s, vitamin B, iron, and magnesium. And then it also has a carotenoid that has been shown to protect our skin and eyes against UV radiation. It can help encourage and support the growth of healthy bacteria in our gut and boost our immune system. I will say though, it does have a little bit of a fishy taste to it. So if you've never used spirulina before, you might want to start small, like with maybe even just a half a teaspoon, and then try to work your way up to a tablespoon over time. So you can get this at health food stores or online also. So really with smoothies, you can add whatever additions like these that you want, other adaptogens, seeds like flax seeds. I always just throw in a bunch of different things with my smoothies. The collagen tends to make it almost kind of creamy, fluffy in texture a bit, but I just kind of used whatever I have on hand. Okay, let's get started. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball how much coconut water. That's probably about enough. And then I usually add the banana next. Now bananas, I tend to use whatever I've got, either fresh or frozen. When I go to the store and see ripe organic bananas, sometimes when I go to Publix, the organic bananas are green. So when I see ripe ones, I tend to buy a lot of them, and then I just cut them up and put them individually bagged in the freezer so that I'm ready for a smoothie. Throw in, so that's one banana. So now I'm gonna throw in 2 scoops of collagen powder. And I've just got a regular spoon of the spirulina. Oops. So I've been using spirulina for some time, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put in a heaping tablespoon. If you make this smoothie without the spirulina though, you might want to adjust the pineapple banana ratio. You might want to use maybe half a banana. I like to add a little bit more sweetness just to kind of cut the fishy taste to it. But if you're not going to use the spirulina, you might not want to have so much sweetness in it. So then with the pineapple, I'm just gonna kind of grab a handful, maybe a few more pieces, and then go to my salad greens, and I usually do about 1 or 2 handfuls. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 because again I said I need to use up these greens, so I'm just gonna throw it in there. I have a little tamper. I'm just gonna tamper it down a little bit, but you can use a spatula. Alright, put the lid on and blend. And there you go. Here's a beautiful green smoothie. The collagen, like I said, kind of makes it almost creamy-like. It's very foamy on top. And the spirulina gives it almost a pretty blue-green color. But it's delicious. This is one of my favorites. Highly recommend. So let's go ahead and make a smoothie bowl. I've poured some more coconut water into my blender. I'm using slightly less than I would have if I was just making a regular smoothie, because you want your smoothie bowl base to be thicker. If you want to use something besides coconut water, that's fine. I use coconut water all the time because I have food intolerances, but you could use any kind of nut milk, oat milk, yogurt even if you'd like, or juice. So I'm going to use some dragon fruit, which is a beautiful color. It's like a magenta color. It's going to stain my hands, but I'll use probably about, my guess would be about a half a cup of that. And then some pineapple and mango, same amounts. That dragon fruit is full of vitamin C and magnesium, so if you suffer from migraines, that's a great ingredient to add to your life. Okay, so I'll turn this one on. And that came out nice, pretty pink color. Forgot where my bowls are. Alright, so then I'm just going to fill up the bowl. There's enough for a second person there. And then I'm going to add some fruit. So I've got some strawberries. And I probably could have actually put a little bit less coconut water in there. See how all my fruit is sinking? So maybe start at a 1/4 cup of I'm going to throw in some blueberries. If you had granola, you could put some granola in there. I'm going to add a little bit of shredded unsweetened coconut. Looks so pretty. And then I'll also add some chia seeds. That gives it some omega-3s. And also, when chia seeds are put into liquid, they expand to several times their size, so it helps keep you fuller longer. But now you're ready to sit at the table and take some pictures, put it on Instagram. It's so pretty. A smoothie bowl. Alright, well let's go ahead and make some green gummies. Gummies are essentially like little gummy bears, or you can just pour it into a pan and make little squares, like Jello squares, only instead of the kind that you'd buy from the store that's full of weird dyes and all kinds of questionable ingredients, we are going to be using the green juice that we made earlier, along with a little bit of honey, some lemon juice, and unflavored gelatin. Using 3 tablespoons of this unflavored gelatin. I'm using the Great Lakes brand. that you can get from a health food store or online. But if you want, you can just also use unflavored gelatin packs from the grocery store. I chose this one because it's grass-fed and pasture-raised, but whatever is easiest for you. I'm also going to be using our green juice, 1 cup of that, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice that I've already squeezed, and the recipe calls for 1 to 3 tablespoons of honey. I am probably going to use 2 because I did have apple in my juice, so it's probably already sweet. So I figure I'll just go right in the middle. So I'm going to just go ahead and pour my juice into a small saucepan. And I'm going to pour in my lemon juice. That should be about a tablespoon. And you said 2 tablespoons of honey, so let me just fill up my tablespoon. Honey. Okay. And before I even place this on the heat, I'm just going to go ahead and whisk all of this together. Mix in together good. And then I'm going to sprinkle the gelatin on top. And let's see. So I need 3 tablespoons. Okay. So just kind of sprinkle that on top. That's 3. And now I'm just going to let this sit just like this, not on the heat. And we'll wait for 5 minutes so that it kind of gels together a little bit. It's supposed to kind of bloom into a thick paste. So we'll come back in 5 minutes and see what happens. Bubbled up into this strange shape. So I've gone ahead and set it on my stove on low heat. And we're just going to whisk it together slowly for 5 minutes. Combine it and let it dissolve into the green mixture. All the gelatin dissolve into the green mixture. So don't put this on high heat and don't cook it for any longer than it needs. It just needs 5 minutes. And once 5 minutes has passed, I'm going to pour this into a pan and put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. But honestly, most of the time I usually put these gummies into the fridge for at least a few hours so that it sets. And these are great little snacks, a great way to get some collagen, which is again great for your joints and your gut health and your skin and your fingernails and your hair. I'll just sit here and stir this, and then I'll put it in the fridge and we'll come back and see what it looks like. Alright, so it's come out of the refrigerator. Looks pretty solid. Go ahead and just slice a little piece. It's definitely not as translucent as regular Jell-O, at least on top. Here, I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, look at there! It's pretty Jell-O-y. Alright, so let's try a bite. It's actually really good. Kind of lemony. Well, thank you so much for watching another episode of In the Bubble with Beth as part of the Best Summer Ever at your St. Johns County Public Library System. If you like this video, please like it, comment on it, and share it. And please come back next week for another In the Bubble with Beth video. There's also all kinds of other programming on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. And I appreciate you coming. Stay tuned for the secret word. And now the secret word is together 19. Together 19. That's for the Read Squared app. Together 19. And if you make your own juices, smoothies, or gummies and want to post a picture on social media, please tag us. Hashtag I love SJCPLS. Thanks again. See you soon at the library.